In the last 15th and 16th session, we talked about basics. Today, let's proceed to the challenge, the fifth virtue of navigatorship. The keywords of challenge are challenge, health, growth, self-reliance, self-esteem, courage, performance, renovation and creation. 1. Challenge. Face-to-face fighting. 2. Health. There is no defect in mentality or physical strength, or such state. 3. Growth. The size and power of things are getting bigger. 4. Self-reliance. Standing by oneself, not being subordinated to or relying on others. 5. Self-esteem. Keeping a person's dignity oneself. 6. Courage. Energetic and strong, or a spirit that is not afraid of things. 7. Performance. Fruit 8. Renovation. Completely changing and renewing old customs, convention, organization, and methods. 9. Creation. Make the first thing that has not existed before. Achieve new achievements, accomplishments, values. We cannot teach people anything, but we can help them find something in themselves. Galileo. He who conquers another is strong. He who conquers himself is a great man. Noah. Innovate, develop, motivate, inspire, and trust. Then you will become a leader. Mark Twain. He who builds and lives in a city will surely perish, and only those who move constantly will survive. Genghis Khan. Success is another new beginning, and the challenge is endless. Only those who challenge accomplish, and great success comes from great failures. Captain Hong Gil Eom. The birds struggle to get out of the egg. The egg is the world. The one who is born must break a world. Hermann Hesse. A person who survives in life is a person who works steadily every day. Oprah Winfrey. Anyone who does not have the power to be independent depends on others. He who relies on others must be afraid of man. He who fears a man flatters others. Fukuku and Yukichi. Strong species do not survive, but adaptive species survive. Charles Darwin. I live as I am led by my heart. Challenge new things and realize what I imagine. To be honest with my dreams and passion is my life and management. Richard Branson, President, Virgin Group. Why don't you think about the definition of challenge and fill out the table? Stop this video for about 10 minutes until you fill out the table, and start it again when you finish. The dictionary concept of challenge is to fight against the front. Challenge is to try and make something. But God does not give everything to one challenge. The history of mankind has been challenged and challenged again. Any difficult task must be solved, and there is always luck in any unhappiness behind it. Success is another new beginning and challenges are endless. Only a challenger achieves, and great success comes from great failure. The challenge is also the spirit of, let's go. Challenge is another name for courage and another name for success. Life is a voyage and exploration that goes on and on until it is born and dies. As our life is to set a destination and to pioneer it by taking our own direction, we need a challenge and a passion for a life voyage. Life without challenge is helpless like a windy balloon. The same is true of life without passion. Nowadays, many people in our society devote themselves to lacking dreams, challenging themselves, and lacking enthusiasm. We cannot find the reason why there is no excuse for no grade, no environment, no money, no learning, and so on. But life is not something others can live for. You must be an explorer who designs your own life and stirs yourself up. Let's talk about how to execute methods of challenge. 1. Challenge is a free spirit owner. I believe in myself and challenge once I encounter a difficult problem. 2. Health I seek regular diagnosis, good relationships, balanced diet, drinking, smoking, positive thinking, regular exercise, and psychological stability for health. 3. Growth I myself and society are increasing the added value through continuous growth. 4. Self-reliance I am an independent self-navigator who lives my life without reliance on others. 5. Self-esteem I keep self-esteem to respect myself and look at the world by my standards, not others. 6. Courage I am not afraid of failure and have courage to challenge even the hardest things. 7. Performance I have a performance indicator that measures performance for my work, and I like to make a difference in compensation depending on performance. 8. Renovation I am a renovator who enjoys working in a new way and prefers an innovative way. 9. Creation I am securing my own special time for creative thinking and developing creative knowledge. You will see a video of how Felix Baumgartner challenged for the world record in sonic breakthrough fall in 2012.
It's still climbing, and you'll start be moving here in a little bit. Let's do a little bit of release.
If you're scared, walk away, 'cause there's no need to feel ashamed. Yeah, we all feel the same. Whoa, where's your passion? Where's your fire today?
Alright, now, the whole road is looking on. I'm going over.
Jumper away. Speed 725. Showing Felix in a stable descent. And Felix is back to it safely, the new world record holder.
The record made by Felix Baumgartner in 2012 was updated in 2014 when Google Vice President Eustace climbed to an altitude of 41.419 kilometers and then freely dropped in a specially designed spacesuit for 4.5 minutes. At that time, the maximum speed reached 1,322 kilometers per hour. Challenge's dictionary concept is to fight against the front. Arnold Joseph Toynbee called human history challenge and reaction. This is explained by the catfish effect. Many herrings died in the process of transporting herring from the distant sea to the land. Since dead herrings cannot be sold at a high price, carrying fresh herring as fresh as possible is a big task for fishermen. However, the only fishermen are making big money by supplying fresh herring. The secret is to put a large catfish larger than herring in a tank carrying herring. Then some of the hundreds will be eaten by catfish, but the rest of the herrings will be kept fresh and live so that they will not get eaten. Arnold Toynbee often cited this catfish effect and stressed that the proper sense of crisis through challenge and response is the driving force behind the development of mankind. Challengers have changed history and grown society. History can continue to evolve only if the creative minority succeeds in responding to the challenge that continues to emerge in the flow of history. Joseph Schumpeter, a business scholar, also viewed entrepreneurial challenge and innovation as a driving force for capitalist development. The bank with the highest interest rate in the world is called the challenge bank. The more you use it, the less it will shrink. There is no failure unless we challenge ourselves. Failure should not be a failure but a stepping stone to growth. Life is a series of challenges. The success and failure of life depends on how you accept and overcome challenges. Challenges necessarily involve exploitation. It is impossible without a pioneering spirit to pursue a challenging spirit in order to advance the unknown world. The pioneering spirit must accept change. If you refuse to change, you are more likely to fail. The prerequisite for all of these is the challenge. Only challengers can achieve dreams and happy success. The age demands change and innovation for us, but we are worried about not being prepared and challenging ourselves to prepare for the changes of the present. If you do not challenge yourself, nothing can be achieved. We can actively challenge and act on our side. There are going to be a lot of failures and trial and errors because you are going on a road that no one has gone. But even that can be pleasantly accepted. It is because the new power of creation hides in it. It is part of the content of the dandelion does not envy roses. We are afraid and try to avoid problems as much as possible when encountering difficult problems for the first time. There is no further progress unless you hit it. It is important to try once. However, a reckless challenge without any planning is difficult to succeed, so you have to prepare thoroughly. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe says, whatever you can or believe you can do, start by boldly challenging yourself with natural talent, power, and magical energy. So why don't you challenge yourself first and see? In baseball, the world's best home run kings are struck out even more. If you do not swing the bat to avoid striking, you cannot hit a home run. If the batting average exceeds 30% as a batter, he will be treated as a successful player. If you hit a 0.300 hit, it means you have not hit 0.700. Matching only 3 out of 10 is considered the best hitter. It was 3 hits because you challenged 10 times, but not 3 hits in 3 challenges. American legendary baseball player Babe Ruth hit 714 home runs, but 1,300 strikeouts. Challenges are not always successful, but the challenge itself is beautiful. Captain Hong Gil Eom said he was convinced of the goal by failing, and that the crisis was a catalyst for confidence. He succeeded 20 times in 38 challenges and 18 times in failure. After rising above failures and enduring the challenge, he built a pavilion of the world's first 16 Himalayan mountain climbs. Great work can only be achieved when challenging and passionate. Young Soap Park also achieved the world's first mountain Grand Slam. Mountain Grand Slam means to conquer the world's 7 highest peaks, 14 high peaks of the Himalayas 8,000-meter class, and the Earth's 3 peaks. Young Soap Park has already made a remarkable record of climbing the Everest Mount anorexically for the first time in Asia and climbing 14 high mountains of 8,000-meter class in the Himalayas in the shortest time in the world. Above all, his unyielding tug of war is more impressive as it is the result of standing on top of an endless failure. At the time of the climbing of the Mount Everest in 1991, he suffered a serious injury with a full face, and he did not give up his dream of climbing Mount Everest. and even though failures continued thereafter, he eventually conquered not only Mount Everest but also all the mountains and lands of the world. It is the unyielding mental power that challenges failure but does not give up, and it made him of today. Young Soap Park says he will not give up even if only 1% is possible. An infant can finally walk after 10,000 trial and errors. Why don't you think about what to do for your health and fill out the table? Stop this video for about 10 minutes until you fill out the table, and start it again when you finish. Health's dictionary concept is mentally or physically free of any dangers, robustness or such a state. When you lose your health, everything disappears. What everyone wants is to live happily and die happily. If you are not healthy, you will suffer mentally and physically, and you will not live a normal life. Health is not just for free. Some people are born with a healthy condition, but health should be self-sustaining. Once you lose your health, it takes a considerable amount of time to recover. Even if it is restored, it is difficult to return to the former good condition. In general, the factors that determine health are genetic, environmental, habitual, and medical, among which the most important factor for modern people is habit. What healthy, longevity people have in common are positive thoughts and regular exercise habits. And drinking and smoking are important factors. Limitations on eating calories and eating less will make the genes healthy and reduce the chances of getting sick. Positive thinking maintains overall balance and reduces stress. Habits of regular exercise enhance preventing aging and immunity. Alcohol and tobacco do not have a good effect on health, so drinking alcohol less and non-smoking should be made a way of life. The way to extend a healthy life is also to meet a lot of friends, to relieve greed, to take a good sleep at night, to rejoice and to control being angry. Many studies have shown that reducing calorie intake by 30% can reduce basal metabolism and lead to longer life. Another active means is hormone management. Growth hormone, like an orchestra conductor, tones all kinds of functions of the body, such as muscle, bones, immunity, subcutaneous fat, and sexual function. However, as the age increases, the amount of secretion decreases and the aging process accelerates. One of the best ways to manage growth hormone is muscle strength exercise. Muscle strength exercise should not be missed in middle age. Interesting research suggests that cigarettes, alcohol, working style, social status, and economic conditions are not crucial factors in lifespan. The only thing in common is the number of friends. The smaller the number of friends is, the easier you are to get sick and the earlier you die. There are many friends who share the happiness of life, and the more time you spend with your friends, the less stress you have and the healthier life you have. Researchers have found that people who have strong social ties have a 50% reduction in early mortality. This is as good for your health as practicing quit smoking or exercising regularly. According to one research paper, regular contact with more than 10 friends increases happiness and prolongs the lifespan. If a close friend lives within 1 mile, happiness increases by 25%. Pleasure of working and regular exercise habits are common features seen by longevity people. People who balance work and life, are not sensitive, drink less, enjoy proper weight and body shape, use drugs and medical care at a minimum, love neighbors and respect the environment, are healthy and long lived. In addition, you have to control stress, the source of the disease well. You cannot be healthy unless life itself is exposed to stress. Growth's dictionary concept is the size or power of things is getting bigger. Living is when something moves and grows steadily. Just like water flows even through ice, sustainable growth is the way to survive. The economic growth of a country is important not only for material convenience, but also for improving the morality of society. Continuous learning must be supported to create and grow new value addition. It should be able to lead sustainable and efficient growth on its own. Because the world is changing rapidly, growth must be continuous. The speed of development of technology is so fast that new technology cannot last 3 years. Ultimately, in order to survive for more than 3 years, you must constantly create new technologies, products, and services that can replace the current system. Individuals and corporations who cope appropriately here are to survive for a long time, and individuals and companies that do not do so will quickly collapse. Growth is no longer a matter of choice. Non growing companies do not give dreams to members, and members who do not dream cannot make the future of the company. So, if a company does not grow now, tomorrow's growth is not expected. What do you need to do to grow continuously? Bill Gates says that speed will depend on the speed of thought and the success or failure of a company in the 21st century. In the digital age, business must operate at the speed of thought. In the future, the era of creative capitalism is a popular trend. Robert E. Quinn emphasized the necessity of fundamental changes in his book of Deep Change or Slow Death, saying that since if you live as you are now, you will just go to gradual death, so if you do not make innovative changes, you will slowly die unwittingly. This is explained by the allegory of a frog in a boiling pot. If you do not want to become a frog dying in a pot that slowly warms up, you should try a radical change. Individuals need to make fundamental changes. It is difficult to live in the 21st century in the old way of thinking. First, the power to think is not gifted but is raised through learning. The process should be steady over a lifetime. For us, lifelong learning is not just a simple study but a source of wealth. Second, fast learner refers to a person who is studying well and slow learner who is not. It is the time when speed is used as a basis for judging academic achievement. In a changing world, the speed of learning is a matter of survival. The choice is up to you. Third, creativity must be drawn from others. We must value the ideas that come from everyone beyond the age when the creative part provides the unilateral opportunity to the universe. Anyone should be able to make an ideal combination of education, experience, and participation by presenting and sharing creative ideas. Fourth, in order to pursue lifelong learning, we must abandon useless knowledge, skills, and attitudes acquired through school education. It is necessary to learn abolition and oblivion. In modern society, knowledge obsolescence is so fast that knowledge garbage is accumulating each day. In 2020, knowledge will double every 73 days, and there is a prospect that only about 1% of current knowledge will be available in 2050. Everyone must continue learning and training to adapt and survive the pace of revolutionary development. To grow, you must first build a system that accumulates competencies and that leads to growth later. It is the same as that used for power generation by making a dam and storing water. As if a hawk falls down vertically and absorbs gravitational acceleration when it hunts a game on the ground, we need to invest in growth like grabbing a game after accumulating kinetic energy. The dictionary concept of self-reliance is to stand by yourself without being under the control of or dependent upon others. The youth who are put up by their parents even when they are old are called kangaroo. It is a generation that is economically unable to leave its parents like a kangaroo to incubate and raise a puppy in a pocket. It is a language created by the rise of issues such as global economic difficulties and youth unemployment. Some 50% of college graduates are kangaroos, and the age of kangaroos is rising. It is heartbreaking to hear that a 70-year-old man was sentenced to probation, who had stabbed his son after he had been supporting his so-called kangaroo son living for 40 years or more without a job and became a homeless person. In France, the comic movie Tanguy, which depicts the conflict between the parents who want independence for their son and the son who is trying to live on, has become popular. In order to get a 31-year-old son out of the house, his mother changed his lock on the door and his son sued her, but her son won the suit. The NEETs are also increasing. The NEET is an abbreviation of not in education, employment, or training. The NEETs are understood as the words referring to the youth unemployment problem in the Republic of Korea and Japan. In the Republic of Korea, the NEETs are used as a term for unemployed youth who do not work, or have no will to work. That is to say, it refers to the unemployed youth who have lost their motivation to work because they cannot get a job even after they tried to find a job. In Korea, 1 in 4 young college graduates between the ages of 15 and 29 are known to have been classified as non-employed, not being educated or trained. The proportion of the NEET family in Korea is the third highest among OECD member countries. In any field, you have to find your own and become self-reliant. In order to prepare for the future regardless of age or education, and to follow a rapidly changing era, aggressive self-management is necessary. If you do not prepare something using your spare time now, then the person will appear to be in a gap with those who have prepared in advance for 5 or 10 years. Self-development is an individual's competitiveness and also a national competitiveness. It is important that you invest your time continuously in one area that you are interested in rather than wanting too much. Through a documentary, I have seen a mother eagle give flying education to her cubs. The mother eagle pushes the young cub to the beak and falls from the nest on the high cliff below the cliff. Shortly before the eagle falls to the ground, the mother eagle puts its young eagle safely over its wings. Repeating this process several times, the powerless little eagle wing gains strength and eventually becomes fast and powerful in the sky. The young eagle has to live on his own. In order to survive on its own, it has to learn the law itself. It is because the mother eagle cannot live its life. TV news broadcast the scene that a sparrow nestled under the eaves of a building next to the park and hatching eggs makes the cub on its feet. When the mother who bred the cubs with the worms came to the time when the cubs were independent, 1 and 2 of them were sent away, but 1 week one hung in there without independence. The mother pretended to feed her, then stepped back and repeated the same move again. In the end, the young sparrow, which had been bowing to the ground too much for a long time and desired to eat its food, was falling down to the ground, but it could soar up to the sky thanks to its flapping wings desperately.